come join our fun.
Pretty loud.
Oh, thank
Really
you.
pretty.
Hello, friends. We are getting started in just a moment for our knit along. This is the Noro A-line cardigan knit along. So hopefully you're joining us. And so it's just casual. We're just kind of showing you what's going on with what we've got going on. And I'm also just going to jump on Instagram here. So nothing too crazy, but maybe a little bit crazy. All right. So let's say Noro K-A-L. Done. All right, so we are just gonna get started here. Oops, turned all the lights off. At some point, we'll have a tech director who's going to make it so much easier for all this. Let's try to get that away from the, yeah. So let's put you down here for now. See, that's that like circle light that makes it crazy. Yeah. So they're telling our followers that we're live. So I'll sit over here with Allison. We'll be like on a bus where we are next to each other. But let me see if I can block it out with the change this. Nope, that's going to put it right in the line of vision. Yeah, let's put it this way. Get it out. All right. See, this is why we're super professional here. Yay, us. So, all right. So let's talk about it. So how we've noticed Allison did a little bit of digging, and apparently people have complained about this pattern being not as well written as one would like. But as I always say, patterns are just like an idea. It's just kind of like, yeah, we'll do this and figure it out as we go.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what we've got going on. So first, we realized last time, if you missed the beginning of our knit along, which was riveting, as you can imagine, we recognized that the gauge that they have on there is like, no, not happening. So we decided to use size 8 needles. We held it against the actual cardigan itself, and those needles seemed to get gauged more closely than what they were suggesting, which I think was size 6 needles, which was teeny tiny.
Size 6.
Too small for that. So let me grab the actual product itself. So size 8. Whoops, as I trip over everything. So graceful. I'm a ballerina on my side times. So yeah, so size 8 needles are going to get you this gauge. If all 4 of us are very different types of knitters. Size 8 worked for our getting our gauge on this. And then Allison came in and was like, it says to do, what is it, 26 inches? So 26 inches.
It said to do 7 times more, so 8 repeats.
So yeah, so 8 repeats of that.
And it came from me to 26 inches.
So we measured, it does say 26 inches.
Or 25.
Yeah, so it does say 26 inches here on the last page of the pattern. There is this, kind of a measurement guide. It does say 26 inches, but if you actually measure the sample, and this is from Noro. So if you measure the sample, it's much longer. So it's 30 inches. And we kind of decided, well, we want to make it 30 inches to get to this length. So that's kind of where we were at the end of this week. And then, of course, because I'm me, I was like starting and I had this yarn and I've been chaotic because that's also me. And let's turn you a little bit more this way. Let me see here. Turn this light back on. There we go. So I've been chaotic as always. And I got, knitting into mine. I'm like, oh, I better get working on this. And then this yarn came in yesterday because my daughter has asked that she can have this sample, which she does with most of my stuff, which is flattering. But at the same time, like I'm almost naked. So, which is, no one needs that in their lives. So this one came in and it couldn't be more Lena if we tried. So this one's just kind of an ombre of red. And that is my little vampira, as I've always called her, my little vampire. So I'm going to do that. So I've started over, basically. So I worked on this a little bit last night. And that's kind of where I am at this point, but looking at it at night with this dark yarn, it definitely has a few anomalies that I don't love, but I don't know how obvious they are. You're seeing these giant mistakes that I've got going on, knitting at night
really.
with dark.
Not really.
Okay. So,
I'm one that's okay with mistakes too.
well, yeah, I don't have time for her. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So if she's going to complain about a baby alpaca sweater, then I'll keep it. So, and she would never anyway. But anyway, so I've got a couple of the buttonholes down. I hate buttonholes. I always end up having to I put a pin in them just to kind of see where the proximity is, because it does get tedious back and forth, because the pattern is set up where you go do 1 through 6, then do 1 through 6 twice, then do 1 through 5, and then go back and repeat. So you're like constantly trying to wrap your brain around where you are in this. So how did you find it?
Well, I found it easy to knit, but you do have to count because of the
Yeah.
repeats.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I'm just cabling.
No, you do you. Yeah, and I'm not a good counter, so I just kind of go, yeah, that looks good.
So here's mine.
Yes, yours is absolutely fabulous. So she used the yarn from Noro, which is Silk Garden, in number 269, I believe. Oh, it looks beautiful. So here is Allison's. I don't want to pull this, but yeah. So here's Allison's. It looks absolutely beautiful. Here's Allison's. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So that's what we've got going on. So today, if you've made it to the next level, because some of you actually listened to what I said and said, just finish the right band. And I, of course, I'm like, I mean, not me, because I can't do anything I actually say I'm going to these days. So you're starting the left front band, and it is, kind of much easier band. Let me just say that. So
No buttonholes.
yeah, no buttonholes, and literally 1 through 5 left front band is just work has continued for the right front band. So you're doing the same thing to create that kind of cabling-ish. So it's not a lot of cabling. It really is every 6 or 5.
It's very easy cabling.
And it's, yeah, you just literally like doot, doot, and that's it. So it's cable 1 left direction, right direction, but everything's knit in that little thing. So it's not too wonky. That's just my observations on this. Anything that you're finding that?
No.
Yeah. So that's about it. We've added a whole bunch of new things here at the shop. So I'm trying to not drown in them, literally tripping over everything in the shop. So right now we're just getting those updated in the system. And they put my class live the other day, and I'm like, oh, I haven't even written my schedule for the semester. So I had to do that. And then they rejected my paper article because it was a little too risque for the Bluffton Sun.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I had to bang another one of those out. So it's been an adventure. It's been an adventure this week. How about you? How was your daughter? Her daughter in the fires.
She's still without a home.
Poor thing.
I mean, she has a home, but it'll be months before they get back home.
Right. And has she's been able to get to the house, but can't stay there, obviously.
Right. Right. So hopefully they'll get things going soon.
Stuff salvageable?
It's terrible. I think so. Some of it.
Yeah. It's awful, though. I mean, it's just what a horrible thing. I mean, all of it. Ugh. When I lived in California, and we used to have wildfires because we lived right on Mount Diablo, and fires climb. So we were at the bottom of the mountain. So in that respect, we had a little more forgiveness, but not, you always had a bag packed because you knew at some point it could always hop. And when it's so smoky like that, you can't breathe. Your eyes singe. It's just, burning. And no matter what you're doing, it's like wipes you out because you're not breathing well, and then people with asthma. Oh, it's just not fun. It's just not fun. In fact, we had just put in, when we were in California, probably is the same there, we were in a massive drought. So you were not able to water your lawn. If we had a pool, and we had to pay for water to be and then add it into the pool. Really? Yeah. And I mean, we're talking thousands of gallons, just to be in the pool, because otherwise it gets absorbed. And then all the animals in the area bees used to come and just hover over the water so they could drink.
because
they were so thirsty because there's no water anywhere. And we had like a saltwater kind of a pool. And so we ended up having to get like the turf, the ones that look like grass in the AstroTurf, but it like really looked like grass until you touched it, because you can't water anything. And of course we just spent, all this stupid money on plastic grass, and there was a fire like 2 neighborhoods over, and I'm like, oh God, it hasn't even been 24 hours yet, and it's gonna burn up my plastic lawn. Thankfully it did not, but yeah, not fun. It's not fun. It's very scary. All right, where am I in this?
What was your risque article on?
Oh, wow. So I kind of went off the, hey, it was right after, we just had the National Quitters Day, which was the January 10th. It's usually the second Friday of January. And in that case, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just talk about Quitters Day. And I thought, well, gym, because, that's kind of how it goes. And so then I was thinking about the gym that I joined when I lived there in Walnut Creek, California. It was very unlike gyms that I had prior belonged to in New England. And so I went on about kind of the behavior at the gym that was a bit shocking to me. So apparently shocking to the readers and advertisers also. So it got nixed. So I talked about golfing instead. So
that's safer.
Yeah, much safer. So I was like, okay, we'll just, So anyway, that's about it. Right, so this is the challenge because I'm in the part where I have to cable, because I've just got a whole bunch of straight lines, and it's time to cable. So I have to go in and work on that. So I should have this memorized by now, but yet I talk too much and don't pay attention. Not surprising that I got constantly disrupts class in my conduct grades when I was a kid. I have important things to say. Teacher apparently did not think they were as important as I did, but So we've lost 2 of our people this week. So Shirley's not here, obviously.
Right.
Sue's not here. Was there anybody else that was in?
Just the 3 of us.
Just that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. So now I have people working on it at home. So I'd love to see your progress if you're working on this at home. Send me a picture. You can jump into our call. Feel free to jump in however you do that. Add yourself to the call.
So is yours narrower than mine?
Yeah, but I'm a super tight knitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, super tight knitter. So
okay.
Yes. Probably should have. That's why I'm like, I always go up at least 2 stitches. 2 needle sizes.
I was just wondering if I was wrong.
No, ma'am. Yours looks terrific. And if you feel like it's just hold it up against the sample.
Yeah, it's close to the sample.
Yeah, it's close to the sample. Mine's going to be smaller than the sample, but that's why we swatch, make gauge, and then when all else fails, give it to a tiny, skinny 18-year-old.
So you might like get 3 sweaters of the same.
Yes, here's 1, here's 2. We'll just rotate them. Oh, goodness. It's always an adventure, especially with patterns. Well, I am surprised to hear the reviews, though, about this because, the Japanese are so meticulous. They're known for their precision and their care that they put into, everything. So I am surprised about it. But, that's kind of how it all goes. All right, so now I'm purling my last 3. All right. We'll see how small mine. Oh, see, I went too far. That's what happens when you knit at night. I went probably 1 section too far. So see how the section is.
Do you ever have one of those lights around your neck? They help.
The lights are on my neck. Yeah.
They help me.
Yeah, I know. I have one because I'm just gonna rip it. I used to, when at, my husband doesn't like lights on. So I always, if I wanted to knit, I had to have a light. He bought me a spelunking light, which hurt my head. So it's like I'm not wearing a spelunking
That's a
light.
vision.
Yeah, I was hot. I was hot. So anyway, that's that. Also, knitting with dark yarn is always a super joy. And I think I told you about my experience with the eye doctor challenge. So I
Yeah.
still haven't gotten my prescription, right prescription.
That
So
makes it even harder.
it does make it a skosh more difficult to. I think it's supposed to be 5, so I may even need to frog one more row. Because
You
it's
rip
the
out with
6th.
such ease.
Well, you know what? Whatever. It's just at this point, it's easier than living with. Yeah, and I'm going to rip out 2 rows. Okay.
So I'm adding some inches.
Yep.
And it
Because you're adding what, 4 inches? Is that what we?
correct. So
yep.
I want to make sure though that I stop, because originally it would stop with a buttonhole near the top.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just make sure you go far
Actually,
enough to.
Not in this one.
Are you on the other side?
I'm just looking at their thing.
They went rogue too. So we're just doing our own thing.
Okay. So let me just look.
Well, I think you do want it somewhere near the top, but it is going to have a little bit of a.
Okay. So it
I would
doesn't really-
think.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to want at least 2 inches. Let's measure. Yeah, from the last buttonhole, it is 3 inches. So anyway, that's what's going on here. Just trying to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see if this is where I want to cable. I feel like I do. Let me show you here. 1, 2,
So your
3.
store I saw online is 3 years old.
Yes, we just turned
great.
3 this past weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad. And we started off with,
Congratulations.
thank you. We started off with 300 square feet, and which is tiny. But yeah, here we are. It's baby steps, you know. Let me see. I'm thinking I need to tink a skoosh and cable. We'll see if this one works. Yeah, so it's been crazy. So I'm staying at my dad's house, and my stepmother's best friend's in town, and they're so funny. And so I was writing this morning, and they were chatting, and all of a sudden I looked at the clock, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get in here. So because I was meeting Robin this morning, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta take a shower still. So it's been a little bit crazy. Every bit of my life is kind of sequestered into like time segments. All right, I got this time and this time available to shower.
When does school start?
Tuesday.
Oh, next Tuesday.
Yeah,
Oh,
next Tuesday. Yeah, it's always the first day after Martin Luther King. But then sometimes they do other weird things, like they had, oh, well, we're going to start Friday, but it's a Monday. And so I almost like, what?
How many classes are you teaching?
2. They only allow us 2. Because God forbid you actually can live off of what you make being a professor. That would be so cute, though, if we could. So I see a lot of these adjunct professors hustle between colleges because and you know, as I'm looking in the college process of what I have to pay for my daughter to go to college next year, and what we actually pay professors is pretty
Bit of a
insulting.
discrepancy.
Yeah, a slight discrepancy, but it's a little crazy daisy. You getting there, Robin? Hopefully she hasn't been kidnapped. So
I want to see how you use this cable needle.
oh, so these cable needles are great. So I like them because they lay flat, and so that they're not going to fall off. And then you just cable as you would. And then the only thing is that, so I don't lose the stitches. Sometimes it slides off, but it's not usually a big deal. And then just I put them back on. You can't knit off of these guys, but I'm okay with that because I like to knit off my needles anyway. And right now I'm on straights just because it's this tiny chunk of fun with the band. Instead of, I had the 32s that I started on last time, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I need this much for now. The last 3. You missed a funny open knit last night. One of our regulars was, see, now I'm too close. Damn it. When I get like this, I just want to rip the whole thing apart, which is probably not the best idea, but.
So what was funny?
Oh my God. So we had Kate. Kate was so funny last night. So she was here, and Robin has given her this really adorable pattern for, you can make it for a blanket, or you can make it for a scarf, where she's just making squares that look like Paris buildings in Paris with all the windows.
Wow.
And they're all like next to each other. It's so cute. So the first thing she's like, I need to find yarn. I'm like, okay.
Oh, is that the one they were talking about on Tuesday?
Yeah. It's a really cute pattern. And so she's like, I want to make, she goes, but I don't know, whatever you, remember how, you and Robin say you like these colors, and I'm just hold my tongue. I was like, I do. Yeah. She's like, yeah, it's because I hate them. I'm like, okay. It's like, okay. So then she wants to find neutrals. So I start pulling like real light tans and light off whites, and, things that kind of actually are in this spectrum.
Right.
And she's like, well, those aren't neutrals. I'm like, actually they are neutrals, but she's like, now those look like, God, what was she saying they look like? She's like, those look like this color. And I'm like, I don't actually see what you're seeing. So my eyes are clearly not seeing colors the same as what she sees. And she was so funny. Then she goes, I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I have to do this twisty thing. She's talking about securing a flow. It's, oh my God, we just were laughing the whole night. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so funny. So it was, I didn't get much done. And then mostly what I did, clearly I've made mistakes on. So that's super helpful. All right.
I think I need to put a buttonhole in. Yeah.
2, 3. All right. Now
It's much easier to see on this yarn.
Yeah.
It's so clear.
Yeah. This one is not, it's about as clear as mud. But, all right. There's 2 just to be knitting 12. Now I've got my stitches all backwards because I picked them up the wrong way.
La, la, la. Great project.
Oh, good. It's a learning project. This is why I have to be by myself and not talking while I'm doing stuff. Anyway. Love this yarn. So this yarn is super cool. It is 4 strands. And then as you continue, it will start to change.
Is there some purple red in it?
This is really like a purpley red, and then it will start to morph into the next color, 1 strand at a time. So it's real gradual with its changing in the ombre. So it's fun, but it is a little bit quirky to work with because it's 4 tiny lace weight strands that come together to make a worsted weight yarn. Okay, let me see here. Purl 3.
So next Wednesday starts the
Yep. So my new hours start up on Tuesday because they shifted everything that I was teaching. And I've been teaching at Montclair State since 2017. And I've always taught Mondays and Thursdays. 2 sections on Mondays and Thursdays. And so I kind of put my whole shop around that and made all these, different blah, blah, blah. And then they decided last semester that this semester that we're going to start now, we're on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which when I was in college, which is how it was. You had
Right,
you
that's
had
how it was,
long
yeah.
classes, on Tuesday, Thursdays, and you had shorter classes Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And so that
Put a little wrinkle in everything.
did a little bit. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? It's all right. We can adapt, improvise, and overcome. So it's just shifted the shop hours to earlier. So now we're going to be 10-2, and then I'll just kick my
Oh.
class off right there and then. Instead of coming in after, because now I won't be done until 5:30. So anyway, what can you do, right? But now we'll have Wednesdays. I'll be here from noon to 7. So we'll have one day where I'm here a little bit later instead of Thursdays. We'll do open knit, probably Wednesdays. Still waiting for all my regulars to decide what day works best. And then, yeah. The beginning of the semester is always
Is it a class
challenging.
you've already taught? So
Yes.
you have most of the material?
The material is, I've been teaching, it's my favorite thing to teach, which is Spanish past tense. There are 2 tenses in Spanish, preterite and imperfect. And I love it. It's really, if you can master preterite, you can master anything in Spanish because it's the hardest, because it's all irregulars. It's all irregular. So it's all rote memorization, which it sucks. Rote memorization is hard and boring. But, I have all kinds of tricks and stuff because I'm a non-native speaker and I learned it through school and practice and more practice and practice. So, we kind of get into that. But the beginning of the semester is always tough because you have a handful of native speakers that are trying to sneak into the class for the easy A. And so we got to weed them out. And, but then they try to beat the program by not showing up the first few weeks and, those kinds of things. And then after that, you have to kind of figure out, all right, well, who hasn't taken Spanish in a while, and then who needs practice on, who had a teacher that didn't, or they mailed it in, or the teacher mailed it in. And, it's hard because Spanish is, it's just such a wonderful and fun and fabulous language, but so many places just hire people that speak Spanish as
Right.
opposed to know how to teach Spanish. And, just because you speak, you can read numbers doesn't make you a mathematician. And so a lot of these kids hate Spanish or any language for that matter, because their teachers were subpar or didn't know how to teach, and then just had them do worksheets or, mail it in with anything like happens. And so then some of them are really lost and overwhelmed. And a lot of them now they have this kind of opinion of, being in an online class where they can shut the camera off. I've had people take showers during my class. I've had people in the men's locker room. I have tons of rules out, but doesn't mean they follow them. And then I warn them about having their camera on, because they'll do this too. They'll have it up like this. And then they think I can't tell that they're not here. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like you were
Okay.
born yesterday.
Oh,
Huh?
okay. And I was like, oh yeah, I had no idea you weren't there.
How many?
You got me.
How many students do you have?
I have 25 usually in each class.
That's a good amount.
Yeah. So it's good. It's keeps me on my toes. It's not so many that I can't grade it, because of anything that's written, takes a while to go through all of their crappy Spanish, but I want their crappy Spanish. I don't want their used AI to write the assignment Spanish. But if they're really doing the work, it takes longer to grade. So it's always this kind of game of, did they cheat? Did they not cheat? How do I do this so I don't lose my mind with all the cheating? Because it's not fun when the kids are just cheating their way through it and don't actually learn it.
Cheating, can they get suspended from school?
They can, if we can catch them. It's hard to prove. It's not like plagiarism anymore, where you can just go online and say, oh, she obviously plagiarized right from the book. It's AI generated, and they don't understand the value of knowing a second language. And they're just trying to get through the class because they have to, as opposed to appreciating what it could bring to their world.
Is there a language requirement?
There is. Most schools have at least a 1 semester language requirement. And this one actually has a 2 semester requirement unless you're a native speaker, which is why I never understand why the native speakers wouldn't just take the 1 class it's faster, they learn something, and it's less expensive in the long run, but they don't. So, and then it's trying to get them engaged, which is not easy in Zoom because I'm an in your face, as you're seeing here. It's, not super exciting when you're just sitting and talking, and, they don't want to talk to each other. So the spoken component's out the window. And if I call on them, if they've actually done the work, and, usually, I didn't get that one, or, oh, my computer crashed, or there's always some excuse why they don't want to participate. So it just takes a lot of the fun out of it.
Are all of their classes Zoom, or do they have in person?
They have in person. They can choose, mix and match. It just kind of depends on, like, my sister is going through some treatments right now. And so she's taken a lot of hers online because she's unhealthy. Yeah, that's not fun. But you don't have, it's an option, but it's not a good one for language. And they asked me to keep teaching it. So I do, because, it's an income, and albeit a small one, but still something. Yeah. And, I enjoy teaching. Just don't enjoy the, when you get the attitude. A lot of these kids come on the class and act like I should be, so excited that they actually showed up. And I'm like, dude, it's your job. Like, you signed up. I didn't, go to your house and go, hey guys, listen, I know we're supposed to meet in person, but now I'm just going to show up. I live in South Carolina, by the way, and you're in Montclair, New Jersey. So it's a bit of a drive. Like, you signed up. Did you not sign up for this class? Did you not know the times? And then they'll try to, like, walk during the class. I'm like, how can you do the work if you're not sitting?
How long is the class?
An hour and 15 minutes twice a week.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. And I'm like, and you signed up for it. Like, shouldn't be a surprise. Like, and you can't just learn Spanish by not doing that. Well, you have a lot of homework. I'm like, well, you don't speak in class. I'm required to give you 5 hours of homework a week from the department. So we're all, yeah. So, and I don't give that much because I make them take vocabulary quizzes, because I'm like, you need to enrich. You can't become fluent if you, only speak like a caveman. Like, you need more words.
Do they offer a term abroad for that?
They have all kinds of different programs that are great. But again, kids just don't, it's just different now. They don't really value a lot of these things, that they just are kind of doing it to do it, as opposed to, getting through it, instead of enjoying it. Like, dude, if I could go back to any time in my life, sophomore year of college was probably the most fun year. And then my junior year, I lived in Spain, which was a completely different, amazing experience. Right. But they don't appreciate that. I have a cousin that's second cousin that I'm like, how's it going? She's like, oh, it's so boring. I'm like, if college is boring, you are doing it wrong. You are doing college wrong. It's not supposed to be boring. But what do I know? I'm the crazy old lady, reminiscing about those long gone times. All right, remind me in my next knit along. I'm in the same row over and over again, because I just keep picking it up and going, that doesn't look right. That doesn't.
So for the next time, do you want us to try to get the other band done?
If you want to work on the other band, for that, I'm going to just try to get through my life at this point. So we're just going to work on it and show up where we are. Gotcha. Yes. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I don't know what the next. Oh, it's short rows. I'll need help with that.
Okay, no problem. Short rows, you have to do. I feel you have to do short rows in one sitting, and the reason for that is if you put them down, because you're going back and forth in these little things. Right. If you put them down, you never know what direction you're supposed to be going in. So dedicate the time to really just sit down and go, okay, we're doing short rows, and I'm going to sit here until my short rows are completed. Because I've had people put them down and they pick them up and they keep going. Like, you're like, well, the yarn's on the right, so I'm just going to keep going now. No, it's not how short rows work, because you're back and forth within the same confines. Hence the reason they're called short rows. And I like German short rows. So we'll talk about those. Left front cast on, purl, knit, purl. And then, they do the wrap and twist here. So wrap and twist is the same. I usually just go one more with the German short row and then pull it over and then twist that one. We'll talk about it. It's, okay. And quite frankly, I can always start wherever is going on if I don't get these bands done, because the bands are, its own separate thing. Yeah. So its own thing. And right front edge of the band, first cast on 10 stitches. Okay. Yeah. So, you go through quite a bit of the left front and then you pick up the, you know, you have to get this far in to start. So I really want to just have time to sit and work on my stuff, but I've just been so crazy right now. And then I promised my daughter that I would take care of her bathroom. It was when we purchased the house, a little girl had lived in the room, and she had her own bathroom, but the bathroom wallpaper was very kitty and almost like old lady. It was just like this kind of antique-y white, and they had these sconces that were, my meme probably would have had, you know, not cute. And so I was like, okay. And so, but instead of just waiting for me, and I think they put the wallpaper on with like Gorilla Glue. So trying to get it off the wall, she's been just like picking at it for years. And then she would take a scraper, and then so she's had dug out all these like sections, and I'm like, oh my God. And then she used like a razor for some of it, and was like, I'm scoring it, but really was just making giant slashes like Freddy Krueger had come in to take out the wallpaper. And so it wasn't just a weekend, like, okay, let me get this, you know, updated for you. It was like 3 weeks of taking the wallpaper out and then spackling. I have the wallpaper off. I have the she wanted to do this blue. So I have the walls painted blue, but then all the other trim, it was ugly because it was off and filthy and just, you know, in ruins. And then now nothing matched because it was an old antique looking sink, you know, area with the cabinets and stuff. So repainting those white. And so it's closer, but it's not done yet. So I'm like, let's put more on my plate so I have a complete and total nervous breakdown. Okay.
Is she helping?
If by helping you mean laying in her bed and being on TikTok, yes.
Well, that won't be for long.
No, I don't know what's going to happen. Because somebody was saying that I was hearing in the news yesterday, like, oh, it's going to be up to Trump. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with
the Supreme Court.
They upheld it. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I see other places are trying to take the place of it, but I also, you know, one of them's already, was it like Lemonade, was already owned by ByteDance. And that's what they're trying to get rid of is ByteDance. And I don't know. The whole thing is, it's going to leave a lot of people high and dry. That's for sure. All right.
I mean, it is a livelihood for a lot of people.
A lot of people. It's crazy what people will watch and spend money on. If you're that bored, people, come to my shop here. I'll teach you how to knit. I mean, we can do this. It doesn't look so from this, but I actually do know how to do this stuff. So I do know how. Oh, hey, Jenny, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm not getting any progress with this because I'm so busy chatting, but otherwise it's kind of just boring sitting here listening to me. Watching me knit is super exciting. All right. So now, I think it's 5 rows. So maybe if I count, that would actually be smarter than just flapping my way through it.
I don't know how you're seeing it with that small dart.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's not easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's try this one with us. It just feels like I need another row, but then 2 rows is too much. All right. We're just going to go for it, which is kind of how I've been running my life this year. You know, just go for it.
You'll come out all right.
I always do. It is what it is. Just can't take it too seriously. All right, so let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so left leaning cable, left put in front. I always think left is lazy, so it's closer to me when I'm trying to cable. My contacts are 2 different prescriptions, and they're bifocals. So it's like, because I'm blind as a bat and still need readers, because again, yay, why can't I just be normal? Because I'm not. And that's how I remember left is low and right is really high. So So there's that. And now right leaning goes in the back. So hi, come on in. Terry, you can come on in.
No, I'm going. My
Did you get your
husband's
10s? Okay, you got your size 10?
Oh,
Terry, hey, how are you?
I'm good.
It's
Oh, I
good.
thought you were on TV.
We are. Come on in. You don't
Oh,
have to. You don't have to leave. You can be behind the cameras.
No, I don't want to be behind the camera.
Well, you don't have to be in front of the
How's
cameras.
How's your sweater?
It's coming.
Gorgeous.
along.
It's gorgeous.
Do you have it here?
No, I don't have it here. I was working on my hat too, so I needed the double pointed.
Are you good?
I'm good with the hat.
All right.
The sweater, I think I'm going to be okay. But I did that first transition
Yeah.
where I started this much of it.
Yeah.
And then I looked,
And-
and I had a mistake in one of the,
Cables.
not the cable area, the other part.
Okay.
So I had to.
Did you ladder down to it, or did you
I
have to
did.
frog? Okay, good.
No,
Good.
I
Good.
left,
Good.
and thank God I had my what do you call it, lifeline in there.
Telling you.
Thank God. And I
Telling you.
told somebody, a friend of mine, do you know Jennifer Ethier? Did you know her? Was she
No,
near
I don't.
knitter? Anyway, she's a knitter. And I said, did you ever hear of a lifeline? She said, no. I said, oh, it's the best thing. It's
Yeah.
the best.
I get stubborn and I'm like, that's fine. And then I'm like, why didn't I just put a lifeline? I would have saved all this time, especially with cables or lace work or something that, you know.
I think I'm gonna, even as I progress, I wasn't gonna do it again.
Oh
only
yeah,
when
no,
there was
just get
an
to a
issue.
certain chunk of like, okay, I know where I'm starting in this iteration, or what, or this,
Yeah.
this, and throw it in. So that way, if there's a mistake, you're not losing and then trying to figure out where you
Right,
were.
That's the issue, trying to figure out. It's such a hassle.
Mhm.
And actually, I did find that when I was looking then, I do have a mistake in the cable. At some point,
Do you need to flip it?
No, I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just leaving it. It's the cable, of course, is knitted.
Mhm.
Well, I purled a row, so you have in the middle of that cable, but you can't. It doesn't
Only
look
you
hard.
will see
Galloping
it.
horse rule. Okay, if you're wearing it on a galloping horse, who's going to see it?
Yeah, nobody. And I think I mean, even if you're like looking at me, you have to go. Oh, there it is. Like you wouldn't look and say, "Ooh, I see that mistake." So I'm leaving it. I am not, because
Leave
it's about this far down.
Leave
It's
it.
like, I'm
No.
not doing that.
Leave it. It'll
Too
be
much
fine.
trouble.
It'll be
Anyway.
fine.
All
Well,
right,
I've done this 10 times and it keeps coming out short, so I'm just going to leave it because
What
I'm
are you
over
doing?
it.
What are you
Doing this
making this
band. We're doing
coat.
our knit along that I was telling you about.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
Yeah. Allison's kicking my ass on it right now, but
Oh, she is a great knitter.
I
No,
know
I
she is.
bet.
Well, I changed yarn yesterday, so I was like, oh, let's just start over again.
Okay.
Because I'm me, Terry. It's how
All
we
right,
do.
well, whatever. Well, Allison, you're really. Is that yours, Allison?
No, that's the
It's a shop.
shop thing. This
Oh,
is
The
mine.
shop sample.
Oh, okay. Oh, it looks like a challenge.
It's
Well, I looked at your pattern. I was going to try it, and it
It's
looked like
pretty.
a challenge to
Well,
me.
it's
You know-
the Hohi's got some great patterns.
I just think that for me, it's just not written the best way. I don't think what you have to do is really difficult.
No.
It's just how it's written. For
Yeah.
me, I was like, huh? I had to come in here again and say, Tracy, what's going on here? I don't get this. But otherwise it's going okay.
That's why you support your local yarn shop.
Well, I am.
Because we help you. Unlike, you can't bring it into to Michael's and be like, what did I do wrong here?
Oh, no, I wouldn't know. And you don't have that ribbon yarn is discontinued.
Yeah.
Um,
I might have, I don't know how much yardage you need. Because what I have is sorry ribbon yarn, which is just material that they've ripped up, but it's definitely not as fun as the yarn that you sent me.
I think, what did they say? 100 yards, 50 grams. Does that make sense?
Sure. For a little purse, yeah.
It's a little scarf. It's
A little scarf,
and
okay.
you need two.
Two of them?
Balls, skeins, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's definitely
And
more
it-
fun. It's
and
like
it-
party yarn.
It is party yarn. That's exactly what it's called. Now,
Mhm.
I did find some on Ravelry. People have some in their
To sell,
stash.
yeah.
So then it's really seeing whether or not
Etsy
that's
will have it. eBay
Etsy-
sometimes.
both. But
Amazon
Etsy-
sometimes.
No, Amazon. Etsy had one color,
Mm.
and it's for these other ladies. I mean, I've already made two of them. I don't really need to make another one.
What
I
are
was-
they?
It's just this little fringe scarf.
It's a fun little scarf, but it's
It's a-
got kind of like, I'm just going to scoot behind you here. It's got this, I might even have some, like somebody brought some in to donate for my kids' classes. Let me see if I have somebody here.
and it's
It's not
little.
quite this.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
it's-
ribbon. It's
There's some. I just thought I saw some ribbon.
I know exactly what it is. I just
And the scarf is you start out narrow and
And
you go wide, and then you go narrow, and then you don't bind off 4 rows.
Okay, and
And
does
then
that become a fringe?
It becomes a fringe. So it's about like this big.
So you're making it for other people? How nice.
No, we're gonna I'm gonna show them how to do it.
yeah.
Do you have a knitting group over there now?
There's a knitting group.
okay.
Actually, they meet on Wednesdays, I think, but I've not gone. It just doesn't work for me, you know. But I wore the scarf the other day to a VAC meeting, and a couple of the ladies were, "Oh my God, that scarf looks so great!" And I'm like, "This is like the easiest thing." I think I made that. I don't know. That could have been my second thing I ever made after when I learned how to knit.
Okay.
It's really easy.
Yeah, it's fun.
And-
It's like little. It's like kind of crafty yarn, really. I mean, it's
it
not.
really is. And you make it. You
Yeah.
knit it with a big needle, like a bigger needle.
Yeah,
so it
loopy.
I've
builds.
made some.
Loopy.
Yeah, and it's just you knit, and then somewhere you add on, knit in the back and the front, and until it gets.
You
wide.
increase,
Yeah.
decrease, and
I figure that's my husband's
is your husband
name.
coming to drag you out?
Oh, I'm
She's
figuring.
being held against her will back here. It's fine. She's
I mean,
fine.
he knows.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, just getting in the yard.
Oh, she'll be here for days.
I know, definitely.
Well, thank you, Terry.
All right,
I appreciate
well,
your
girls, have
support.
fun.
You know
Good
we
to
will.
see you. And I'll be back when I have to do my I-cord bind off.
Anytime
probably.
you need.
I've done it before, but it's been
I got
like
you.
12 years.
I-cord bind offs are fun. They're a little tedious because you're done and you want to just bind off, but it's worth the extra
I'll
time.
be back around then, if not before. We have a bunch of doctor's appointments coming, so you're gonna see.
You know where I'll be.
Yeah.
We changed our hours though. I don't know if you saw them on the door.
What was the change? I didn't really notice the change. I saw it
So
on the
normally
email.
I have been open for 3 years on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 4. But now my schedule shift at the university where I teach shifted. And so now I'm opening beforehand. So 10 to 2 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thursdays used to be my late day, but now I'm going to be here on Wednesdays late. So noon to 7 on Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
So those shifted slightly. So.
Oh, all right. So I should pay more attention. But I
or just go online or call or we'll find you.
because I won't remember.
That's okay. I barely remember and I wrote them. So, it is what it is. But thank you. I appreciate your support.
Oh, happy to.
Say
Thank
hi-
you.
Say hi to Joe.
I will. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
I have to get together when you get together with. I know you don't get together with them very often.
We are in February.
Yeah.
I-
I haven't heard from her though. I don't know what's going on. The last couple of days, she hasn't responded to emails and texts.
Really? She
Yeah.
just reached out to me the other day.
Well, this has been in. Let's see. Yesterday, I text, and I emailed maybe the beginning of the week,
Oh,
or maybe even last week about a bocce thing, and she didn't get back to me. And so I thought, oh, maybe I didn't actually put her on the email,
right.
but no, she was there. And then I sent it back to the group again, and I still didn't. So I was starting to worry if something
She
was,
sent me
up with
a message
Athena.
the other. Oh,
you know,
It's the
whenever I don't
dog.
hear from her, I get nervous. Something happened to Athena.
Oh, puppy.
it's not going to be a good day.
I
Uh-uh.
know. That's the price we pay.
I
I
know.
know that's
Hardest thing to say goodbye to, really. I mean, other than close relatives, of course, but I mean, to say goodbye to your puppies, kitties, and stuff.
Sometimes
So
in some
hard.
ways to me, I don't want to say it's worse, but
It's definitely hard.
You're part of the decision making
Right.
process for your pet.
Yeah.
Where with a human, usually it doesn't get to that.
I know.
Well, sometimes it does, but with pets, it seems it's always that way. You have to say, okay, it's time.
Well, that was my Ralphie, who was my shop dog. And when we adopted him, we didn't know that he had degenerative disc disease. And he had gone through the first year we had him. And, he used to come to the shop with me all the time. And we had a giant surgery, $15,000 surgery on last Christmas, and hoping it would extend his, help ease his pain and stuff like that. And in September, just all of a sudden, something went bad, and it's still,
Oh, I know.
I could
it's
still
so hard.
break
When
right
we
into
lo-
tears talking
we
about it.
lost our first dog, and I remember that night when I said to my husband, I think this is like the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
And my husband said, I think that the day my mom died was just a tiny bit harder. And he wasn't joking. He
Oh,
really
no.
wasn't joking.
It was, gut wrenching. Still,
I know.
months later, it still makes me tear up.
Oh, I can remember.
How are ya?
when we had-
I'm
we
good.
lost
How
our
are you?
Good, good to see
and I
you.
said to my sister, I don't think
Definitely
I'm
go
gonna
through
be
those
able to live
bags,
through this.
25% off.
I was
I
just
walked in
so
on the
really
most terrible
physically.
conversation because I feel the same.
Horrible.
hurt.
Oh, it's
Horrible.
And she said,
just
yes, you
gut wrenching,
yes,
isn't
you
it?
will. Now it's been
And I cried more when my dog died.
it's
than my
almost
mom.
5 years.
Same.
And I don't know.
Same.
Still.
Now, same. It's
It's so hard.
Yeah,
That's why
it's terrible.
for a long time we had 2 dogs because it was so hard when we lose one.
well, I got like 75 too many still, but you know,
No, we're not getting any more pets. Not until we're
not what like a
really-
ferret or like an owl.
Oh.
Oh, the dog.
Monkeys.
She sent me a picture of that.
You can link on yourself. You know.
Really?
Yes,
I've
I'll
s-
send you the link. I'll
Okay.
send you both the links.
She's
What are we
so
linking
that-
on to?
Cool
So
as
that
thing.
was one of
Is it
her,
the Eagles?
one
Yes,
of her
the Eagle
communica-
Cam.
Yeah.
Have you been on?
I
it?
have not been on it, but I've heard about it, and I love.
It is the coolest thing. I mean, I didn't see this part, but somebody said, because now they're hatched,
right.
and you can,
babies.
they get somebody sits on them most of the time, but periodically they get up,
Right.
and then they feed them, and you could see them.
That's what I got. That's
Is this
what I
the
got. From,
berry?
This is Adato's Conservancy's Eagle Cam.
Okay, there's a Berry College has an Eagle Cam too, and it is amazing.
Yeah, it's just the
So
coolest
cool.
thing. It really is.
yeah, that's now that you said that, that's what I heard from her about.
Oh yeah, it's like even this morning, I got up, I was having my little
Check on the
tea, and
babies.
it's like I put up my iPad and I'm doing something else here
So
on my
cute.
phone and I'm watching it.
Well, we were watching that
Where is
hippo, and
I am not sure. That's what Joe asked me. Somebody said they thought it was on. Somebody said it was on Longfield, but I could kind of see. It looks like I can see some golf course, like fairway.
Oh,
So
Longfield.
So it
be
wouldn't
that.
be Longfield then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really need to ask somebody that knows.
Oh, that's neat.
You know.
we could just make it up. That's what I do. It's totally right there. It's
is
see.
your name Joe?
Well,
My
not
husband
this
does.
week. Not this week. It's what? If you look to the left, you'll see it's over there.
All right.
Great to see
Bye,
you, Terry.
Terry.
Bye. Take care.
Good to see you both.
You too, sweetie. I love her. So we have such great people here. So, all right, I'm going to call it because I don't even know where I am at this point. So keep working. If you have any questions, reach out. I will direct you to Allison because she's much farther than I am along, or I'll make up an answer because that's what I do. So anyway, thank you so much for joining our live knit along. It's not riveting information, but it's how we do. But you can come if you're in the area. Come join us at the shop from 12 to 1 to work on this beauty here, which is the Noro's A-line cardigan sweater jacket thing. And we will share our progress along with you. So have a great week. Reach out if you have any questions. And thank you so much for supporting Low Country Shrimp and Knits. Mwah! Bye.
Did not know you were live.